Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to talk about Herbaceous, and this is published by Pencil First Games. It's designed by Stephen Fenn with artwork by Beth Sobel.
All right, you guys, this is the Pocket Edition specifically that we're talking about, but the mechanics are basically the same. Basically, you're trying to collect all these different plants and herbs, trying to make the most points out of your garden. I'm going to show you how to play. All right, here's our setup for Herbaceous. This is the Pocket Edition. Basically, it's the same as the regular edition, except for everything is much, much smaller. We're using these teeny tiny little cards here, so it's super travel friendly, fits directly into your pocket. All right, so everyone's going to have in front of them this setup here. They're going to have 4 of these scoring cards, a little insignia that says the private garden, and then there's the main deck over here. Everybody has a little player aid, which basically kind of shows the turn order, as well as what the scoring does on the back, what each one of those different gardens does. But first of all, what you can do on your turn, there's an optional thing where you pop plants, where you score cards, but we don't really have any cards yet, so we're going to skip that step for now. We're going to go on to our second action, which is what you're going to do the majority of your turns, which is plant. On your turn, you're going to draw a card. You're going to choose to either put it out in front of you in your own private garden, or in the middle of the table with a community garden. And so let's say this one, let's put out here in the community garden. The second card we draw, which tends to be identical, we're going to put in our private garden. So basically you're going to draw 2 cards, one at a time. The first one, or after the first one, you have to decide where it's going to go, and then the other second card, no matter what it is, has to go to the opposite location. So again, let's do it. This time we've got one of those. Now let's put in the community garden. This one then has to go. Oh boy, they're all set up in pairs. Like, that is unintentional. But basically what's going to happen is you keep on doing that over and over again. Basically, you're going to be populating the community board. Everyone is, all the players are, as well as populating your own private garden in front of you. Once there's a reasonable number of cards out there, basically what you can do is you can do that first action, which is pot herbs. What's going to happen is you have all these different scoring opportunities out here on the board. So let's kind of go over those first. This blue one over here basically says, take 1 to 7 identical cards from the combination of your private garden and your community garden, and you can turn them in for points. So you can only need to do each one of these one time. So once you do it, basically that garden is closed off. So we might want to wait till later on in the game once there's a whole lot of cards out there. The second one over here is similar. Basically, it says 1 to 7 cards, or sorry, it's 2 to 7 cards, but they have to be dissimilar. They have to be non-equal. Over here we have pairs of cards. So right now this might be a good one for us. We can take these over here, a pair of those and a pair of those, in which case we'd get 8 points based off that little chart there if we cash in all 4 of those cards for those points. But again, we might want to hold out till the end and try to get some more. There is a little bit of a push your luck aspect because maybe there's some cards out there in the community garden that you really, really want, but you also know that your opponents want them too. So you have to kind of weigh and measure. Do you want to hold off until your private garden's built up really well? Or do you just go ahead and take what's out there in the community garden now, so that way maybe it's too late before it's gone? This third pot over here is basically kind of a catch-all. You can just put any 3 cards you want in there. The more cards you put, the more points it's worth. However, that is the only spot to score these special herbs. So there's just special herbs that have points in the top left corner. And if you're able to pot those in that plant over there, you're going to get additional points based off whatever that number is. So again, if you just put this down there, you get the 6 points for playing 6 cards, but you get an additional 6 points for the numbers on the cards. And on top of that, there's this card called the Biscuit. Basically, you get 5 extra points if you are the first person to score that glass jar with a 1, 2, and a 3 points card. So that can be really lucrative if you're the first one to get those points for that one. At the beginning of the game, you do take out some cards from the deck based on how many players are playing, but then basically you're going to keep on going until the entire deck is depleted. And at that point, you count up all your points. All the cards that you used, you put on top of these cards right here, on top of the gardens, so that way you're able to count up, okay, so I had 3 cards there, so it's worth 6 points. Okay, so I had 4 pairs here, so it's worth 14 points. At that point, you're going to add up the points from all 4 of your gardens. You're also going to add up any of those special points that you might have earned, those special herb points that you might have earned by putting them in the glass pot. And then also, any cards that are left over in your private garden are worth 1 point apiece as well. So at the end of all that, you count up all your points from all the different sources, and whoever has the most amount of points wins the game. There is kind of a little flavor pack promotional deck of cards. It's 3 little cards that you can add into the deck that add a little more spice. Basically, you shuffle these cards up. You have 3 of them there. You pick 2 of them, and then you kind of shuffle them into the main deck. When they pop up, they apply to everyone in the whole table. So there's some additional scoring opportunities, basically, or additional special abilities that everyone gets access to. So if you have access to that, I recommend it. It's a little bit of added fun. Alright, you guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see all of our latest videos as they come out. You'll be the first one to know.
Yay! I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when I told you about who the people were that made this game, I did not have to look at my notes. And the reason for that is because I'm a huge fan of Beth Sobel's work, especially in board games. So I was just excited that, her work was in this. Now, I haven't played the original, so I'm assuming that the artwork is all the same, but I don't actually know because I haven't played the original. But I really liked how she painted these herbs. They kind of like blended into the background, but they still stood out. They were very distinct while being a similar color palette. Loved it.
It also helps that Beth Sobel's name is like 3 syllables long.
Yes, that
There's
help.
some long names out there.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. My favorite part of this game, I'm just going to lead with that. My favorite part of this game is that little small decision point. When you draw that first card and you're looking at it and you're trying to figure out, do I want to keep this for myself or do I want to put it in the community garden? A simple decision, A or B, right? But there's more to it than that because you're like, what do I not want them to have? Or what am I okay with them having? What do I really need? And a lot of times you find out after you've drawn the second card, which you didn't know what it was, of course, you realize maybe it was kind of inconsequential. Maybe it wasn't quite as big of a deal as I made it out to be.
It was the exact same card.
Like, that happened as I was teaching them.
Yeah.
I drew the same card twice. But I love that little decision point. It's my favorite part of this game. Just drawing that and thinking, all right, yeah, I don't want that one, and I'm okay with them having it. So I'm going to take this next one for my personal
Yeah,
garden.
and well, it helps because all the cards are up.
Right.
So it's not like a surprise. Everybody has, what they could potentially be going for.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of going for, I really liked how the scoring worked in here. So you had 4 opportunities to score, but as soon as you scored, that was it. So if you're looking for sets, right? And you're like, I'm not going to get any more than 3. And then you score them, and immediately afterwards, all of a sudden, you could have gotten a 4th set. You're like, oh! But there's nothing you can do about it because you got to focus on the other thing. So I just really liked that, the scoring of trying to wait until the last possible moment to get as many cards as you can see. But you also need to grab those cards in the middle before other people grab them. So I really liked how the scoring happened. That one time, 4 different ways.
Yeah, that little push your luck element too. It's just a lot of fun.
Yes.
I thought this game was lightning fast. This is firmly in the filler category, right? Not only, this is in the filler and the great little spot in the shelves as well. But you can take this out anywhere. This is such a small game that you can literally just bust this out and play it. The turns there's just no downtime, right? You flip over a card, place it. Flip over another card, place it. It's the next person's turn. We're talking about 10 seconds or less per turn per person. It just flies by. And the fact that it scales really well at 2, 3, and 4 players. There's actually a solo mode too, but I'll leave that to explore on your own. I thought this game just did not overstay its welcome at all. Great art. Just a really fast package. I liked it.
Yeah. And this game is super travel friendly. Like, I would definitely, if we went out for a date night, I would definitely bring this because you'd be able to play potentially 2 games in before they even brought you your food or what you ordered.
Before they even brought you a menu.
Yeah, you could probably get the game. Yeah, but and it doesn't even take up, it's not a huge table hog, right? So it's not like it's going to take up a lot of space, and you can just, this is something that could easily fit in my purse, or Ryan could fit in his pocket as a pocket edition.
Look at my hand. The hand is just like bigger than this thing. I can hide it.
You can. That's pretty cool. I have really tiny hands.
You definitely know you're smuggling something with your hands.
Yeah, you can totally tell. But my point still stands that I would definitely take this out with us and get a game of this in if we were going out somewhere. Like, it's perfect. It fits that perfectly.
If you know somebody who's into gardening or maybe like those lighter, faster filler games, I definitely think that you should check out Herbaceous. I think that would catch their eye and something you can play with them.
Well, until then, don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. And don't forget to stay tuned to the very end for our Pounds and Inches update, where Ryan and I talk about what we're doing in our lives to achieve better health. But until then, you can find us on Facebook, we're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany. I did it.
Everybody, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around for our Pounds and Inches segment. We like to talk about what we're doing to try to be healthier people, both in body and mind and all those kinds of things. So today what I want to talk about is herbs.
Herbs.
Not herbs, but herbs.
I might have said that earlier. I was embarrassed for myself.
We are kind of trying an elimination diet right now, which basically means there's not a lot of options we have. And some of the foods that we're eating are just, we're having the same kinds of things over and over again. It's getting very repetitious. What has been our lifesaver has been seasonings, been herbs, that kind of thing. So if you are like us and you are trying to eat healthier, but that takes away a lot of the junk that's out there, that is maybe potentially more flavorful, I would suggest busting out an old school recipe, trying out some, go to the spice rack and just trying some things out, mix things up, spice it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And is it working for us? It's yet to be determined. Yeah, but the point is, we are making better choices, and this is helping.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much.
Is there a spider?
I don't know. I felt something.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Got your spider.